Kevin Durant and his legacy, is he being tarnished? Where are you at with him? You mentioned your top 7 guys. Where are you at with what's happened recently with Durant, with the Suns, and, of course, with Brooklyn?
Yeah, Kevin's a great player. I think that his legacy is complicated. I don't like any guys who join super teams. I'm biased against LeBron when it comes to comparing him to Michael, joining Dwayne and those guys. Because, when we had this debate, and LeBron's amazing and spectacular, but I was like, Michael didn't join anybody. He just kept getting his ass kicked and got bigger and got stronger and finally knocked the wall down. And, Kevin, who's a great player, other than the fact when he joined the Warriors, he hasn't been successful anywhere else. And I don't hold that against him, but he wants to be considered in that list. He's not on that list. He's not on that list. He's a great, great player, but he's not on that list. He wants to be like, wow, he's not in the GOAT conversation, because you're not, plain and simple. You had great success when you joined the Warriors, but not only did you not have success, you actually flamed out in those other places. You got swept last year in the playoffs. You didn't even make the play-in this year.
This was the moment Charles Barkley threw gasoline on the GOAT debate fire. He didn't hold back, calling out both Kevin Durant and LeBron James for building legacies on the backs of super teams. According to Barkley, real greatness comes from staying in the fight, not jumping ship when it gets hard. He draws a sharp line. Michael Jordan got knocked down, got back up, and finally broke through, without teaming up with stars. But KD, LeBron. According to Chuck, they took shortcuts. And while they've had success, Barkley says it doesn't count the same. The most brutal part? Barkley says Durant's only real success came with the Warriors, and without them, he's flamed out. Swept with the Nets. Missed the play-in with the Suns. Barkley's bottom line: you're not in the GOAT conversation, plain and simple. It's bold, it's heated, and it's exactly why this moment lit up NBA circles.
So those are just facts. I don't hold guys not winning the championship against them, because it's a team game, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But you got to have some success. Like in my teams in Philadelphia, when I finally got out of there, I was like, yo, man, I got to get out of here. I want to be competitive. And in my first 3 years in Phoenix, we lost to the Bulls for the championship, and then we lost to the Rockets, who won back-to-back championship. But you can't not be a zero successful. So listen, man, I had a great, great career. I was so lucky and blessed to play in the NBA for a lot of years. And like I said, I don't hold guys not winning the championship, because it's a team game, and it's complicated when you're trying to win. I mean, everything has to go great. Like Chris Paul, to me, is one of the most underrated players in NBA history. Russell Westbrook, I love that guy. But Karl Malone, obviously Patrick Ewing, these guys are some of the all-time greats, but they just were never on a team good enough to win.
Charles Barkley just laid out what separates the good from the great, and it's not just about championships. He makes it clear, he doesn't bash guys for not winning titles, it's a team game. But if you're gonna be in that upper echelon, you need to show some kind of success. He name-drops Chris Paul, Karl Malone, Patrick Ewing, guys who never won a ring but were always competitive, always pushing deep into the playoffs. That's what Barkley respects. But the shot here is subtle and sharp. He's contrasting those legends with players like KD, who he says have zero success outside of super teams. Getting swept, missing the playoffs, Barkley isn't letting that slide. The real heat: you can't not be a zero successful. That's the bar. And Barkley's message is simple. If you're trying to call yourself all-time great, at least act like one, even when the odds are stacked against you.
Look at this clip LeBron just dropped for part 2 of his conversation with Kevin Durant, where it seems like he's taking shots at Wilt Chamberlain's record. I mean, trying to discredit all the old basketball, man. Let's check it out.
I can't wait to hold up the sign with my grandkids that I scored 101 points in the game before.
It's coming.
Yeah, for sure. Matter of fact, we should take it right now so I can I can hold it up and now
they not gonna believe you?
Right. Yeah. Right, that's what I'm saying.
Just 100.
Right, I'll pass Kobe. Yeah.
So there we go, another passive-aggressive shot at an all-time.
LeBron James might have been joking, but fans who know the history weren't laughing. In this clip from his podcast with Kevin Durant, LeBron casually says he's going to hold up a sign saying he scored 101 points, mocking Wilt Chamberlain's iconic 100-point game. It's subtle, passive-aggressive, but it lands like a body shot to basketball purists. To some, it's just LeBron having fun. But to others, It's a direct dig at one of the most untouchable feats in NBA history. A quiet way to say, I've done enough, Wilt's numbers don't matter anymore. This isn't the first time LeBron's been accused of trying to discredit the legends who came before him. But this one struck a nerve. Because when you poke at Wilt, you're poking at the very foundation of NBA greatness.
Great and Wilt Chamberlain. Now, Wilt Chamberlain, when you think about LeBron being a perfect athlete, for the NBA, Wilt Chamberlain is probably the most athletic guy to ever play in the NBA. I think he did the high jump. Arnold Schwarzenegger said that, when he went to the weight room with him and Arnold was in his physical competing prime, said Wilt did everything he did in there. Wilt is much stronger than Shaquille O'Neal, right? Touch the top of the backboard with ease. I mean, Wilt, there's like, I don't have to see the 100-point game to believe that he did that back then because he was skilled. He could run fast as a deer, jump as high as anybody's ever jumped. And, he had soft hands around the rim, do that, finger roll shot. Who gonna stop it back then, right? Wilt would have.
Right after LeBron's subtle jab at Wilt, the host fired back, and he didn't hold back. He launches into a passionate defense of Wilt Chamberlain, calling him the most athletic guy to ever play in the NBA. Not LeBron, not Shaq, not Giannis, Wilt. And he's got receipts. Wilt could touch the top of the backboard, outrun most guards, and outlift Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, that Arnold. He paints Wilt as an athletic freak ahead of his time, a player who would dominate any era, even today's. And he hits the core issue. You don't need to see the 100-point game to believe it. The guy was a physical myth come to life. This isn't just about defending Wilt. It's about defending the legacy of past legends, reminding younger fans and media-driven narratives that dominance didn't start with the modern era. When LeBron throws shade, some see confidence. But others, they see a disrespect for greatness that laid the foundation for everything we watch today.
And I think this is another attempt to lessen what that era was. And I understand wanting to defend your era because everybody talk about how soft and weak that this era has become. But I mean, for me, and this is me on the outside looking in, but, I spoke to a lot of people and they share the same view on this. It's like they're trying to poke holes on it and make you forget about the Dallas Mavericks flame out, KD getting swept, with the Brooklyn Nets by the Boston Celtics in the first round, him joining Golden State, LeBron joining Miami, then, them only winning 2 of the 4 years that they was there. I mean, that's 50%, but, you should have had at least 3. If you didn't flame out against Dallas, y'all win that one too. It's like you trying to make us forget that and look back and say, oh, well, these guys really weren't that good in Jordan era either, so we can change your ranking. KD wants to, I mean, I don't know, man. These guys, like, I thought LeBron's podcast was going to be more about X's and O's, but it's more about changing the narrative, revisionist history to me. And
now here's where things really get heated, because the host isn't just calling out players. He's calling out a strategy. He accuses LeBron and KD of using their platforms, like podcasts, to rewrite the narrative. To make fans forget the flameouts, the failures, the moments that should define their legacy just as much as the rings do. He lists them off. KD getting swept with the Nets. LeBron flaming out against Dallas. Super teams that underachieved. And then says it bluntly, they're trying to make people forget. This is about revisionist history. Painting the Jordan era as overrated so today's stars can climb higher in the all-time rankings. It's not about celebrating greatness, it's about editing the past to look better in the future. And here's the thing. The host says it's working, especially on younger, impressionable fans who didn't live through Jordan, Wilt, or even early 2000s battles. This clip isn't just a critique. It's a warning. Watch carefully, because your favorite player might also be your favorite historian, rewriting the script as they go.
That's why, like, when I see these clips, if I ever get anything wrong, I'll come back and apologize about it. But when I see these clips, man, it looks like they are passively aggressively talking about the game in a way to make younger people or impressionable people go back and reconsider what they thought they saw, when they ranked Michael Jordan the GOAT and all this type of stuff. And I wonder too, some of the stuff that's being said, by him, KD, and others, are they anticipating Michael coming to the booth, no holds barred, and trying to get their narrative out there first? Because what Michael might say, um, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see Michael Jordan start to speak though, because I think people that's gonna hit a nerve on so many people. And when Michael Jordan speaks, he don't have to command all the attention and do it that way. When Michael Jordan speak, everybody gonna look that way. And I think people that didn't see him play are gonna recognize how much his word holds weight when he gets on those NBC telecasts. You'll understand how it's even another level above what LeBron says. People gonna listen to what Michael Jordan have to say. Good, bad, or indifferent is gonna command the attention of the sports world. It'll be right back.
This final clip takes the debate to another level, not just about legacies, but about power. Because the question isn't who's the GOAT. The real question is, what happens when Michael Jordan finally speaks? The host lays it out perfectly. LeBron and KD might be dominating today's headlines, but MJ's voice, when he chooses to use it, could shift the entire landscape. He suggests LeBron and KD are getting their version of history out first.
Why?
Because they might be afraid of what's coming. Jordan has been silent for most of this era. But if he steps into the booth, into media, even First Take and ESPN will drop everything. Not to debate LeBron, but just to listen. And when MJ speaks, he doesn't need a viral moment. He commands respect, effortlessly. The host says it best. Even LeBron will get overshadowed, because Jordan's voice holds a different kind of weight. This isn't just about basketball. It's about narrative control. And the second MJ joins the conversation, the rules change.